Hi everybody, this is Martin. This is the one of the practice data sheets for week 5. So what we're going to do here is, you see that we have a data set here with student ID numbers, class, gender, and then different scores, right? And at the bottom, you see that there's N, mean, standard deviation, or SD, min, max, and range. And in this screencast, I'm going to show you how you can extract information from the data set, right? So how you can basically calculate stuff automatically. So one thing you should know is, if you want to calculate the total here, you do that by entering an equal sign, right? And then you can just click on, for example, this cell and say, we want the value of this cell plus 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 the value of this cell and plus the value of that cell. If we then press enter, then you'll see that you have the total, right, for this row. So for the student, the total score for the essay would be 58. Now, don't fear, these are actually not real numbers, right? It's just a practice data set. Okay, so how can you calculate the scores for every student here? The way to do that is, you go to the lower right corner of that cell. You see when my white cross turns into a black cross. When you do that, then you can just click on that and you can drag it down, right? When you do that, you'll automatically have adapted this from D2 plus E3 plus F2 plus G2 plus H2 plus I2, right? You'll adapt that because here you'll have D3, E3, F3, G3, H3 and I3, right? So basically that's that. Now here's a neat trick, or something that you should know, right? You can also lock stuff in place. So if you create, if you type a $ before the column, so this is column D, and then a $ before the cell, you will lock that value in place, right? So if I do this for all the different cells, you'll see that basically, just give me a second, when I now press enter, you have the same number here, but if I drag it down, now basically the values don't adapt and they all refer to, and they all refer to the top row, right? Because they're not adapted, right? Because you've locked the cells that the command refers to, you've locked it in place. Right, so let's just again go to the bottom right corner and then pull this up, because I actually want all the values here. So this is how you can, oh, I haven't gotten them all. Sorry, go there, that cell, and then go, come on, go up. And now we have all the values again, right? Okay, now here we want to extract the number, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum, the maximum, and the range for all these different columns here, right? So the command for counting the number of observations is equal, and then you can count the values. Of course, you want the number of values, and you can basically highlight the range where Excel is supposed to count. And then when you have the range, you just close the round bracket and press enter, and you'll have the number of observations, right? In order to get the mean, so the average value, you need to write equals, then average, and then again we need a range, so we'll take the range here and then close the square bracket and hit enter. So here the first column has an average of 14.5. Well, the standard deviation is equal. It's the same way. We press equal, and then we want the standard deviation. So here's the stdef. That's the command for standard deviation. And again, we give the range of values into that function. Press enter, and then we have the standard deviation. Same thing here for the minimum. The command is equals min, open round bracket, And then we highlight the range of values where Excel is supposed to look. We know that the minimum value for this column here is 7. Now the maximum value is similar, it's equal max. We open the round bracket. Then we tell Excel where to look, which is this range. We close the command with close the square bracket and hit enter. So we see that the minimum value is 7, the maximum is 19. Now, if you want to have the range, right, what you can do is you can type in equal, and then the range is the distance from the minimum to the maximum. And one way to calculate that is just to take the maximum value, right, and then say minus the minimum value. And then we hit enter, right? So here you see that the distance from 7 to 19 is, of course, 12. Right, so now we've done this for this column, for the paraphrasing column. And in order to do this for all the columns, because we haven't locked anything in place, we can actually just, we can even extend it to here. So you've 51 observations, right, from row 2 to row 52. And that is 51 cases. And here, the mean values for all the columns are these, right? And here we can calculate the standard deviation for all values. Again, we highlight the cell, we go to the bottom right corner and we drag it over. Same here for the maximum and for the range. All right. And now what we've done is we've taken this data set, we've calculated the scores for all the students, and we now have also a summary table for how well students have performed on the different sections, right? So here you see that, for example, on paraphrasing, the students performed the best and they had most difficulties with the presentation, if you assume that they all had the same value, right? So if they could all have the same number of points. All right, so this was just to show you how you can handle tables. We're now moving over to another example where you learn how to extract this information using pivot tables, but we're going to take the data viz data set for that. All right, so this is just to show you how you can calculate the totals, the number of observations, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, and range based on numeric information here. All right, thanks so much. I hope you learned something, and now it's time to try it out yourselves. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.